What is up, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. I'm fresh off of coming back from too many games. That's why I haven't been streaming, and some of the videos have just been about gameplay or other types of things as I've recorded them ahead of time. But now we have some fresh new information that recently just dropped as of the time that I'm recording this video. And yes, the rumors on rumors were correct, but in a little bit of a different way, because Nintendo has just announced a brand new Nintendo Direct Mini. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read everything and give you guys my thoughts on what we could see at this, what I feel about it being a mini over a regular Direct. I mean, there is a lot to unwrap here, but before we get into any of that, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos first. Now, on Twitter, here's what Nintendo had to say about the next Nintendo Direct that's actually happening tomorrow as of the time that I'm recording this video. So, a new hashtag Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase is on the way. Watch on demand via our YouTube channel beginning Tuesday, June 28th at 6 a.m. PT for roughly 25 minutes of info on upcoming third-party hashtag Nintendo Switch games. Now, it says also subscribe and turn on notifications here, and gives you the link as you can see it. 6 a.m. PT, 9 a.m. ET. Nintendo making my life rough once again. 6 a.m. I'm in California, so that means I gotta wake up like at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. so I can get everything set, ready to go, have everything hyped up, get the stream going up nice and early. So thanks, Nintendo. I do appreciate that. But let's talk about this, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of people upset that it's not a regular Nintendo Direct and it's a Nintendo Direct Mini instead. It does seem like this one is going to be kind of like the one that we got. I think the Nintendo Direct Mini that we got back in, I think 2018 had stuff like The World Ends With You revealed and everything, and I think like Dark Souls, yeah, something like that remastered. So it seems like it might be something on the lines of that, where we get some nicer or bigger game announcements with this. And obviously everyone's looking forward to potentially Persona being there, which we'll talk about in just a bit. But I do want to go over my own personal thoughts on this and how it relates to what everyone is probably thinking, and that is what's going on. Why is it a mini? Why is it not a regular Nintendo Direct? What is up with this? What's going on? Why is it this way? And to be honest, I'm not exactly sure. Nintendo already has a multitude of big first-party games that are already set and somewhat dated. So you have Pokemon, the new Scarlet and Violet, that's going to be coming out this November. We already have the date and everything for that. Then we also have Splatoon 3, which is going to be set for September early, so we have the date, we're set for that. And then Bayonetta 3, that is just set for 2022. We don't have a date for that. So there's already three big second half confirmed Nintendo Switch first party game. And if you want to get super technical, obviously stuff like Live Alive, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, those are also second half Nintendo Switch exclusives, with Xenoblade Chronicles 3 being a first party title with that. So I do think that Nintendo already has a number of big games for the second half. So do they need a bunch of new first party games, or will there be a bunch of new first party games in the second half of this year? Probably not. So maybe that's the reason why that it's a third-party Direct, because Nintendo has quite a number of big third-party games that still need to be revealed. So I think the biggest thing here that everyone's probably going to be looking forward to is the Persona games, because they announced Persona for Xbox and also for PlayStation, but they didn't announce Persona for the Nintendo Switch. Now, the rumors are, or at least what some people are thinking, that Persona 3 and Persona 4 are going to be announced for the Nintendo Switch, but maybe Persona 5 does not happen, or maybe it happens at a later time. I mean, we're not really sure at this point, but obviously that could grow the discontent if Persona 5 isn't included, when people have been requesting Persona 5 for literally years now at this point, begging for Persona 5. I've made countless videos on how it is a horrible business decision to keep Persona off of the Nintendo Switch, in my own opinion, based on the stats and the numbers that the Nintendo Switch puts up around the world and the type of games that people buy, with games like Octopath and games like Monster Hunter and games like that, Japanese RPGs that have done extremely well, selling millions of copies on the Nintendo Switch platform. So it makes sense to release these games on that platform. Why are you giving up that money? So we'll see actually what happens with Persona, but I am predicting that Persona does come to the Nintendo Switch in some way, shape, or form at this Nintendo Direct Mini. Now, what else could be there? Well, obviously Nintendo does not have the third-party support that Microsoft and Sony has, so I wouldn't expect all of the big games like somehow Elden Ring shows up. Not sure if that's going to be happening, but maybe some of the other Dark Souls games that have been rumored now for years finally make their appearance on the Nintendo Switch. So we're talking about stuff like Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3. I think those games have a shot at coming over to Nintendo Switch. And also some other games that were rumored quite a bit ago, and that is the Batman games. There's been, I think, listings. I know there was rumors for the other Batman games to finally make it to Nintendo Switch. So Batman Arkham City, Batman Arkham Asylum. I think that these type of games would be a nice fit on the Nintendo Switch. Batman Arkham City was on the Wii U pretty much right there at launch, and there hasn't been any official Batman games for the Nintendo Switch, which is a shame. At least those Rocksteady Batman games, or those Batman games that we know about. There's been other Batman games, I think like the Telltale or something like that, or some other stuff, but we need like those Rocksteady Batman games. So maybe that happens there. A few other big third-party games I think could make an appearance at this show is also some of the stuff that's been rumored and already confirmed as well. Now, the first game that I'm going to talk about is Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. We haven't heard anything from this game in quite some time, and I think it's time for a release date and some new footage on this game. So that might be the star of this show, or maybe the one more thing where they show off the release date and also new trailer and footage. So that could be it. I'm really looking forward to that game, and while Mario is in it, it's still a third-party game published by Ubisoft with a Mario license. So that is a super high quality game that could make an appearance at this Nintendo Direct Mini that could probably blow away people with its graphics and presentation and new gameplay angles. Now, another game that could be here is the Final Fantasy Tactics remaster that's been rumored and pretty much leaked well ahead of time. Nintendo could get dibs on the first reveal of this, and it would make sense because there's been a high number of strategy RPGs like Fire Emblem, for example, that have done extremely well. Also, there's been other smaller strategy RPGs on the Nintendo Switch that have had great success, and even with Square Enix, Triangle Strategy was a huge success on the Nintendo Switch, selling nearly 1 million units in a few weeks on the system. So I do feel that that could also show up as well. Now, what about some other things from Square Enix? Well, there still is Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake and also Dragon Quest Treasures. I'm not sure if these games are going to make an appearance because Dragon Quest likes to do its own thing with Square Enix and their own presentations. However, I still feel that it's a possibility that we do get some type of Dragon Quest action. Now, obviously, Dragon Quest X, that's never been localized here in the West. If an announcement for Dragon Quest X appeared, that would be pretty big as well. But once again, I'm not sure about all of these. I'm just throwing out some potential predictions or possible type of things that could show up at this event. Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, something like that would be awesome to finally see on there. But I would give this one final prediction on what is going on with, for example, the bigger Nintendo Switch third-party games from Japanese developers. So maybe we see something unique as a game that only comes to the Switch from a Japanese third-party developer, like an RPG or something like that. Maybe we see some type of new game being announced at this. I would guess that could happen. Now, will there be any first-party games at this? I see on Twitter Bayonetta 3 is already starting to trend because some people feel that Bayonetta 3 could be at this Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. And I guess, like, technically it could be, but it says upcoming third-party Nintendo Switch games, and Bayonetta 3 is not a third-party Nintendo Switch game. It's a first-party Nintendo Switch game because Nintendo is publishing and funding it, and they own the rights to that particular game, not to the Bayonetta IP itself. So could we see Bayonetta 3 there? Yes, Nintendo could throw in a first-party game or two. So I have to make sure that I interrupt my own video right now because I went back and looked at the partner showcase or Nintendo Direct Mini that Nintendo had in October, which you guys have seen some of this footage, and there was a pretty big game shown there, and that was Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which that is a first-party Nintendo IP with The Legend of Zelda, but it's a third-party developed game with Koei Tecmo or Omega Force developing it. So it's very much possible, because I said that maybe we don't see it first-party game with Bayonetta 3. Maybe Bayonetta 3 has more of a chance down at this point, since Nintendo has done something very similar with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity back in 2020. So I'm kind of leaning more towards that Bayonetta 3 is going to be there, considering the situation that we did have before. I mean, this is going to be a very interesting partner showcase for sure. Now let's talk about the reception that's going down right now and how people are angry about it not being a regular Nintendo Direct. Listen, I thought it was going to be a regular Nintendo Direct. I felt that it was going to be that, but obviously I was wrong on that one. Now, am I upset about it being Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase? I mean, not really. I'm not like super upset or anything like that, just because there's tons of big first-party games that I'm excited to play or I've been playing. Fire Emblem 3 Hopes, that game just came out. I still haven't even really dipped my toes into it because I was at too many games and didn't have a lot of time for video games when I was out there, you know, signing the autographs and hanging out with my friends from the Spawncast and hanging out with also some of you guys that came out to the show. So I didn't really have time to play that. And obviously we have Xenoblade and Live Alive, and of course Splatoon's coming and Bayonetta's coming and also Pokemon's coming. So I'm not really too crazy about that because we do have a bunch of second half Nintendo Switch first-party games that I'm excited for, but obviously it would have been nice to maybe hear about another game or two in a big direct, and if they could have just added in the third-party games with whatever else is coming, if there is much coming. But I'm guessing since Nintendo already has a number of first-party games already coming out this year, they're gonna wait, stockpile whatever other announcements that they do have, and then have it in a big fall direct or direct at a later time period. So I'm not too upset because we do have other games coming, and Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase could show off something that I've been asking for quite some time, and that is the Persona game. So yes, definitely would have been nice if there was a regular Nintendo Direct, but there is not. So it is what it is on that front. So it's interesting. It's interesting nonetheless, because this is going to be 25 minutes, and I'm sure that there's going to be some big, or at least a couple big announcements, maybe even brand new games announced for the Nintendo Switch from some Japanese third-party companies and some bigger ports from Western teams incoming as well. So it could be pretty solid, based on just some information that I do have, some rumors that have been out there, and games that definitely need to be dated or put out on the Nintendo Switch. So that's going to be fun to see exactly what happens. Remember, I will be streaming the show It's going to be happening bright and early here in California, 6 a.m. PT. I'll be up earlier than that to get all of your impressions, what you guys think, the complaining, the non-complaining, the this, the that. It's going to be a lot of fun to be back in the groove and back just basically doing what I love to do, which is stream and talk about video games and create this type of content. So what do you guys think about everything? The Nintendo Direct Tuesday, June 28th at 6 a.m. PT, 9 a.m. ET, 25 minutes of upcoming third-party Nintendo Switch games. What do you feel could happen at this event? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.